So here are the plans for my mallet project. It's based on Paul Seller's mallet from his YouTube videos. He's got about an hour and a half series showing how he makes this mallet by hand, which is pretty awesome to watch. I'll link that in the video description. But basically this is what I drew up for the wood that I have. The wood that I got from the pallets I took apart in my first video. And here's just the wood right here. I used my little hand plane to get this smooth just to see what the grain would look like before it's made. Just the two pieces of wood. Here you can see I'm planing down my handle material, trying to get a flat surface for it. So you can see here I marked out where I'm going to put my holes for my mallet handle. That's what it's going to look like. So I'm going to drill the holes with my bit and brace, just part of an old set that I picked up. I got it with a bunch of axes and some other stuff, a big toolbox, a bunch of hand saws for 15 bucks. So it was a pretty good deal. I haven't cleaned them up yet. As you can see, there's rust on them. But it was a nice set, along with all the axes and hand saws and the toolbox I got. So I brought that hole down a little farther than I should have. I should have only gone about halfway. But I'll come up from the bottom on that one, and I'll do the next one here right now. So here it is. Get some of that sawdust out of there. That one's about halfway. I'll go from the bottom now, and all you try and do is you try and keep that drill bit in line with your angle. Here you can see the mallet project, how it's coming along, and I can start to get this handle coming through the other side. Still has a long way to go, so I got to slim this down a little bit. And I've been taking a little bit more material out of the center here. Let me get this out. It's not exactly smooth, but it's way better than I had it before. I sharpened up my chisel. So you can see the first time I had this side, I put an X right there and an X right there, and it only went up to about there on the handle. Let me show you. And then when I flipped the hammerhead around, mallet head around, it was able to slide up to here. So that'll be the way. I marked it with 3 X's. That'll be the way I'll remember this side. And obviously with a hammer it'll go down a little farther, but I'm close. So I just have to take a little bit more up here, and then maybe a little bit on the one of the sides here. So just a little bit off of each, and it's pretty close. We're almost there. So I've gotten to the point where I'm going to leave it. That's about an inch right there, an inch. And as I use it for maybe about a couple weeks or a month, the handle might move up a little bit farther on the head. On the handle, the head might move up a little farther. So I'll leave it there, and then I'll get the final cut of it later. I'll be removing this here, so give it a little bit a better handle shape for holding it. So here I'm beveling the corners of this handle. I used the rasp on this first one, and I took it down way too much for what I wanted. Actually, I don't know, just kind of lost control. The second one turned out much better. I started to take a little off with the rasp, and then from that I just go over to the scraper and take a little bit more. And we'll come back and clean it up with the scraper. So you can see I started curving the top here, and all I did for that was use a chisel and hammer that down. And I'll do the same thing for this side. I hammered the chisel down, I got most of the meat off of it, and then I came with my plane and just smoothed it out a little bit. And I'm going to sand this all down afterwards. So this is the handle. I'm just going to file the top down like I did the bottom, and then I'll sand it nice. When I stain it, we'll see how it looks. Let's check this out. There's still a slight gap down here. That will never go away. I mean, the hammer still functions fine. It's tight. So, and it feels great. Check that out. little 400 grit. When you stain something or use some water on wood, it'll raise the grain a little bit, so it's a little rough. So I'm just smoothing that off in between each coat of coffee stain. Here's the mallet after staining it and sanding it and putting the oil on there. It's really smooth. It comes together nicely. And it's tight when it's on there. It feels great. So now I can use my mallet on my plastic chisels and, you know, wooden gouge chisel handles, that without worrying about the metal mushrooming it out and kind of ruining the handle. I can use it for other projects like, you know, hammering in wedges into axe heads when that one's not ready yet, but you know, just a few different things that I could use it for. And here you can see it weighs 1 pound, 9 ounces. So here's the mallet. I'm really happy with the way it came out. Probably took me about 10 hours total to build it, which is quite a long time. I mean, the next one I make will probably take me a quarter of that time. Just you figure out easier ways or better ways of doing things. Yeah, but I'm really happy with the way the coffee stain looks and the oils, sealing that in. It just feels so smooth and just ready to use it on some other projects coming up in the future. Well, thanks for watching.